Today I'm going to sketch this drawing in paper by 53. Hi everyone, Steve Elliott here again, back with my favourite sketching app, paper by 53. Today I'm just doing a sketch with coloured pencils. I thought sometimes it's nice just to practice your drawing skills and drawing lines and shading and hatching. So that's what I thought I would have a go at with this. So this is an exercise really, just to keep my hand in. And I think it's a good idea at times, because if you've probably noticed at the beginning of this sketch, I started it 3 times, each time rubbing out the house. I started it, I was drawing it too big, because a lot of this sketch is about the sky because of the rainbow, so I didn't want the buildings dominating the scene. I wanted them much smaller so I could get a decent sized rainbow in. So I started 3 times just to get the proportions right, and then I start off with a sort of a blue-grey pencil and then start mixing it up a bit, and I'm basically staying on one colour, and then I just keep changing that in the palette, that one colour. Apart from the green, I use that a little bit, and the red. So in actual fact, I don't use one colour at all. I use 3 colours. Well, a lot more than 3 colours, but I just adjust 3 colours on the palette, if you see what I'm saying. So I'm working with all the blues off one colour, and then the browns off another, and the greens off another. I hope that makes sense. So I think you're all aware now, I'm very much into light and making sure that I get the light in the scene. On this one, it's really the 2 gable end walls of the white buildings that is bouncing the light off, which I wanted to make sure I got that in. So I did that by putting in plenty of shading and colour, framing those buildings to make sure they stood out, and I didn't put any colour on them at all. I kept them reasonably white. So sort of framing the old sketch now with some greenery and a much more lighter, paler green to sort of push that forward. Again, very loose hatching, and you wouldn't really call it cross hatching. It's just sort of, except on the foreground trees, I guess there's a little bit of sort of rough cross hatching there. But it's mostly just sort of hatching in one direction. I tend to feel that's a natural way for me to sketch. So the skyline's broken up by the trees, so there's no real sort of horizontal line chopping the picture in half. I'm sort of getting some of the autumn trees in there. This is a photo I took quite a while ago, to be honest. It's because the weather's been so bad, I've not really wanted to go out much. I'm quite lazy. So I'm working on photos that I took last year at the minute. So here we go with the rainbow. Now, I'd got no idea when I started how I was going to do this. But basically, I just went through, and you can see on the colour picker, I just adjusting the colours to select colours off the spectrum. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet. Except I did them in the reverse order. And I just sort of sketched those in, thinking, and while I'm doing this, all the while I'm thinking, how am I going to make this work? How am I going to make this rainbow not look like somebody's got a bent arrow and fired it into the scene? So I just thought, I'm not going to be deterred. I'm just going to keep crashing on with it. And I was tempted to use watercolor, but I thought, no, I want this to be just pencil, just coloured pencils. So then I start hatching the sky in. So straight away that's sort of toning down the rainbow a little bit. And I'm sort of conscious that these sort of joins everywhere I keep hatching. I know if you sort of take your time and sort of make sure you lift the pencil off, you can get it almost seamless, but I just haven't got the patience for that, and it's a sketch, so it doesn't really matter. So I thought, right, the rainbow's way too dominant, so I wanted to knock it back, and I used a white pencil, and as you can see here, I'm just sort of putting horizontal lines over it. And then I thought it looked like there was a white, it was obvious I'd drawn white over it, so then I covered the old sky in, and then I decided to cross hatch it, and it kind of, I thought, well, that's okay, because it looks like it's raining a little bit as well, so that's all right, I'm digging that. So you can see I've really blended that rainbow into the scene, and then I use a darker pencil just to put some shadows in the clouds. And at this point I'm thinking, yeah, I've cracked it. I'm very happy with how this is turning out. So I'm just sort of putting the finished details in. You notice there's a big smudge under the white building on the left, which is a little bit of a problem with this app sometimes, but I prefer to keep that switched on because I do like to blend with my fingers. So I just go back and re-sketch that in. There we go, look, doing it now. And then I pick a dark pencil and just add some finer bits of detail into the sketch. And I'm just finishing it off now, really. Sort of a dark blue pencil. I am going to go and put a little bit more sort of reflected light, I suppose, off the rainbow onto the building and on the roofs, and I sort of shade them in a little bit. There we go, and that's pretty much it. So there we go, another sketch in paper by 53. Thanks for watching this video with me. If you've enjoyed it, a big thumbs up would be much appreciated, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I have lots of videos like this and I would love to be sharing them with you, so hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.